The third season of the American science fiction television series The X-Files commenced airing on Fox in the United States on September 22, 1995, concluded on the same channel on May 17, 1996, and contained 24 episodes. The season continues to follow the cases of FBI Special Agents Fox Mulder and Anna Scully, portrayed by David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson respectively, who investigate paranormal or supernatural cases, known as X-Files by the FBI. The season features the conclusion of several plot lines introduced in Season 2, while also introducing several new plot elements. Major plot arcs include an elaborate conspiracy being discovered when a fake alien autopsy video is acquired by Mulder, Scully's search for the killer of her sister, and the mystery surrounding X-pivotal characters such as the First Elder and the alien virus Black Oil were first introduced in this season. In addition, the season features a wide variety of Monster of the Week episodes, which features stand-alone stories not of influence to the wider mythology of the series. The season attained higher ratings than Season 2, receiving the highest viewing audience the series had yet achieved. Season premiere The Blessing Way debuted with a Nielsen household rating of 19.94, which more than doubled the premiere of the last season. The ratings consistently stayed above 15.0, making it one of the most watched series of the 1995-96 television lineup. The season received generally positive reviews from television critics, winning 5 Primetime Emmy Awards. Many of the episodes written by writer Darren Morgan received critical acclaim, including the episodes Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, and Jose Chuang's From Outer Space, which are often cited as some of the best of the series. Morgan left the series following the season, due to an inability to keep up with the fast-paced nature of the show. Plot overview. The show centers on FBI Special Agents Fox Mulder and Anna Scully who work on cases linked to the paranormal, called X-Files. Mulder is later found in the desert following the events of the second season finale and nursed back to health by Albert Hosteen. Meanwhile, Scully investigates the possible involvement of the smallpox eradication program in human genetic experimentation, discovering that a Nazi scientist who defected during Operation Paperclip has been conducting human experimentation to create alien-human hybrids. Her sister Melissa, however, is shot by assassins who mistake her for Dana, and dies in hospital that night. Investigating evidence of an alien autopsy, Mulder infiltrates a secretive government train carriage carrying an alien-human hybrid. Mulder is almost killed by a syndicate operative guarding the hybrid, but is saved by his informant XX had been tipped off about Mulder's activities by the agent's partner Dana Scully. Scully, meanwhile, meets a group of women with abduction experiences similar to her own, and meets another member of the syndicate known as the First Elder, who claims during her abduction she was placed on a similar train car and experimented upon by the Japanese scientists. The crew of a French salvage ship trying to raise a World War II-era submarine from the seafloor are stricken with massive radiation burns except for one, who has been infected with a parasitic black oil discovered on the submarine. The oil is controlling the crewman's body, and after passing through several hosts, has overtaken Alex Krycek, whom Mulder has been pursuing. Scully finds that the submarine had been involved in discovering the oil on the seafloor during World War II, under the guise of finding a sunken fighter plane. The infected Krycek makes his way to a missile silo used to hide a UFO, and the oil escapes his body to board the craft. Meanwhile, Scully has tracked down Louis Cardinal, the man responsible for killing her sister. Writing. Development of the first episode of the season, The Blessing Way, began with the second season finale Anasazi. Both of those episodes, along with Paperclip, form a 3-part trilogy of episodes that began the third season. Anasazi was directed by A.W. Goodwin, who later directed the season finale Talitha Kumi, and Paperclip was directed by Rob Bowman. Bowman directed a total of 8 episodes for the season, followed by Kim Manners who directed 7. Series creator Chris Carter also served as executive producer and showrunner and wrote 8 episodes, directing 1. Darren Morgan had a small involvement in the second season, and was asked to contribute more content for the third. He first appeared in The Host as the Flukeman, and was brought on by his brother Glenn Morgan to help write the episode Blood. Morgan's first sole credit as a writer came in the episode Humbug, which received a positive reception by the staff. David Duchovny expressed an enjoyment for working with Morgan, commenting, "What I loved about his scripts was that he seemed to be trying to destroy the show." Morgan wrote a total of 3 episodes, but later left the series because he could not keep up with the fast-paced nature of network television. He also expressed a negative opinion of the way his teleplays were handled, despite a positive reception by both critics and the crew of his work. He also contributed to the script for the episode Quagmire. After writing 1 episode the previous season, Vince Gilligan returned to write another solo episode for the season, now credited as a creative consultant. Cast member David Duchovny collaborated with Howard Gordon and Chris Carter for 2 episodes, receiving story credit. New writers in the 3rd season included story editor Jeffrey Blaming, who wrote 2 episodes, supervising producer Charles Grant Craig, who wrote a single episode, Kim Newtown, who wrote 2 episodes, and staff writer John Chibin, who wrote 2 episodes. All new writers except Chibin did not return after this season. Series visual effects producer Matt Beck also wrote an episode. Other producers included production manager and producer Joseph Patrick Finn and co-producer Paul Radwin. Themes, Nisei, and 731, show a darker side to the series, exploring the public's distrust in the government. Other episodes dealing with the wider mythology of the Suras Talitha, Piper Mara, and Apocrypha explore similar concepts, showcasing the shadow government plotline of the series. Episodes like Too Shy and Pusher feature sadistic villains, containing human beings capable of highly immoral acts despite their seemingly mundane appearances. Another episode with a serial killer antagonist, Grotesque, revolves around the way that evil can change and influence people. Oubliette offers a sentimental and emotional plot driven by the kidnapping of a young girl. The episode features parallels to the real-life Polyclas case and provides commentary on both Stockholm Syndrome and trauma. Aliens and serial killers are not the only antagonists in the season. Several episodes revolve around more traditional, B-movie-inspired monsters, taking influence from horror films. These episodes include War of the Coprophages, and Quagmire, about killer cockroaches and a lake monster. Several episodes have satirical elements, including DPO, Syzygy, and War of the Coprophages, with the latter 2 showcasing how the public can create panic out of need. Both Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, and Jose Chung's From Outer Space play against tropes in the established formula of the series, subverting themes the series usually followed. Cast: the following actors and actresses appear in the season. Main cast: David Duchovny as Special Agent Fox Mulder, Gillian Anderson as Special Agent Dana Scully. Recurring cast: also starring, Mitch Pileggi as Deputy Director Walter Skinner. Guest starring. Episodes marked with a double dagger are episodes in the series' Alien Mythology arc. Reception. Ratings. The 3rd season of The X-Files debuted with The Blessing Way on September 22, 1995. The episode earned a Nielsen household rating of 12.3, with a 22 share, meaning that roughly 12.3% of all television-equipped households, and 22% of households watching television, were tuned into the episode. The episode was viewed by 19.94 million viewers. The Blessing Way was, at the time, the highest-rated episode of The X-Files to air. The previous record belonged to the Season 2 entry Fresh Bones, which only scored an 11.3 rating with a 19 share. As the season continued, however, ratings dropped slightly and stabilized. After the season premiere, the highest-rated episode of the season was the finale, Talitha, which was viewed by 17.86 million viewers. The season hit a low with the 23rd and penultimate episode of the season, Wet Wired, which was viewed by only 14.48 million viewers. The series was ranked as number 55 during the 1995-96 television season, and was viewed by an average of 15.40 million viewers, an increase in almost 7% when compared to the second season, which was viewed by 14.50. In its third season, The X-Files became Fox's top-rated program in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic. The third season of the show was the last to be aired on Friday nights. For its fourth season, the show was moved to Sunday. Reviews. Todd Van Der Werf of the AV Club called the third season The X-Files a Euro best season and maybe one of the greatest TV seasons of all time, noting it was consistent and swung from strength to strength between mythology and standalone episodes. However, he thought it starts out kind of terribly with The Blessing Way. Zach Handlen, Van Der Werf's colleague, wrote that the third season was one of the show's strongest, with the conspiracy arc still keeping tension high instead of just vamping for time. By this point, the sometimes awkward effects work of the early years is gone, and the overall direction is highly polished, giving even the season's weakest entries a cinematic feel. He also stated that Morgan's Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, and Jose Chung's From Outer Space were the X-Files a Euro's two greatest hours. The writing credits provided by Morgan was widely cited as a highlight of the season. War of the Coprophages written by him received positive reviews, and Entertainment Weekly gave War of the Coprophages an Euro, who praised the absurdity and entertainment value of the episode. Another episode, Quagmire, containing some writing credits by Morgan, received positive reviews, with the 10-minute dialogue sequence featuring Mulder and Scully receiving highly positive reviews. Gilligan's episode Pusher was also cited as one of the best episodes of the series by both IGN and Den of Geek, and Tom Kesenish, in his book Examination, an unauthorized look at Season 6 9 of The X-Files, named the episode the third best episode of The X-Files and called it the best MOTW, Monster of the Week in the series history. Duchovny considers his performance in Oubliette as his favorite of the season, an episode that also received mostly positive reviews. Writing for DVD Talk, Earl Kressy rated the season overall 4.5 stars out of 5, finding that the series' increased budget meant that its production values and the quality of its guest appearances were better than previous seasons. Accolades. The third season earned the series 8 Primetime Emmy Award nominations. It received its second consecutive nomination for Outstanding Drama Series. Gillian Anderson received her first nomination for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, and the episode Jose Chung's From Outer Space was nominated for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Art Direction for a Series. The series won 5 awards, including Outstanding Individual Achievement in Writing for a Drama Series, for the episode Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose written by Darren Morgan. Peter Boyle won for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for his performance in that same episode. The episode Nisei won for both Outstanding Individual Achievement in Sound Editing for a Series and Outstanding Individual Achievement in Sound Mixing for a Drama Series. John S. Bartley won for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Cinematography for a Series due to the episode Grotesque. Duchovny and Anderson were each nominated for a Golden Globe Award for their performances. DVD release. Notes, cast information taken from Brian Lowry's 1996 book Trust No One, the official third season guide to The X-Files, published by HarperCollins. The episodes were included in the DVD collections The X-Files Mythology, Volume 1 A Abduction and The X-Files Mythology, Volume 2 A Black Oil, released by Fox. References. Footnotes Bibliography Edwards, Ted. X-Files Confidential. Little, Brown and Company. ISBN 0-316-21808-1. Lovis, Frank. The X-Files Declassified. Citadel Press. ISBN 0-8065-1745-X. Lowry, Brian. The Truth Is Out There, The Official Guide to the X-Files. Harper Prism. ISBN 0-06-105330-9. Lowry, Brian. Trust No One, The Official Guide to the X-Files. Harper Prism. ISBN 0-06-105353-8. Kesenish, Tom. Examination, an unauthorized look at Season 6/9 of The X-Files. Trafford Publishing. ISBN 978-55369-812-8. Shearman, Robert. Pearson, Lars. Wanting to Believe, A Critical Guide to the X-Files, Millennium and the Lone Gunman. Mad Norwegian Press. ISBN 978-0-9759446-9-1. Delisra, Jan. Poplit, Pop Cult and the X-Files, A Critical Exploration. McFarland and Company. ISBN 0-7864-0789-1. External links, List of the X-Files episodes at the Internet Movie Database, List of the X-Files episodes at TV.com.